Welcome back to home territory after a brief excursion to Pattani, and as you can see from all the red lanterns, it's Chinese New Year. And as I said in a previous video, Hat Yai is a very Chinese town. A lot of the local Thais are ethnic Chinese, and a lot of the visitors from Malaysia and Singapore are ethnic Chinese. So usually Chinese New Year here is a really big thing, but for obvious reasons it's been quiet the last 2 years. Here's some more sad news. Back in my single days I used to go for massages a lot, and I went to virtually every place in Hat Yai. And one day I found this place, and the regular massage shops are cheap, but sometimes the service isn't that great. And the spas give you very good service, but they can be quite expensive. And this place is a sort of best of both worlds. It's called Proxa Spa, and it's very good service, but the prices aren't as high as the other spas. And when I first found it, there were 3 girls working there, and I helped them. I used to run a website that used to get quite a lot of visitors, and so I went in one day to take some photographs and then promoted their shop on my website, and that helped them. And I kept friendly with the girls, and 2 left, and it ended up just one taking care of the shop. Her name was Toy, and I know that one of you out there knows Toy quite well, and I haven't seen her for a long time. And I thought today I'd just like pop in and have a chat with her. And the shop is all shuttered up. I guess it's been like this for quite a long time, just no customers. So I'm really not sure how she's doing, but at the moment, with the economy as it is and the lack of tourists, because her business relied completely on tourists, I guess she's really struggling. So it's really sad to say. There are some very big Chinese temples in Hat Yai. Wat Chongchang is one of them. But there are also quite a few small temples, and obviously being Chinese New Year, the Chinese temples are very busy today with people coming to pay their respects. This is the inside of the temple where people have left their offerings, and my wife, she's not Chinese, but I guess that all Thais have got some Chinese blood. Every Chinese New Year she goes through a little ritual of boiling a chicken or a duck and then offering it to our spirit house. So that's what she did this morning. See, there's a duck just here with the throat. A Chinese lady in the temple just gave me this bag of fruit with oranges and some kind of dessert in there. And I really didn't want to carry it around with me because I'm doing this video, but fortunately my car is parked very nearby, so I'll just store it in the car. This is the Coset Hotel. It's been here for years, and a few years ago it was looking quite tatty. Then they renovated it, and they're doing a special deal at the moment, 550 baht a night. So if you can get to Hat Yai, you can find some good hotel deals. This is an interesting sign that I haven't seen before. I know there are sandbox schemes elsewhere in Thailand, Phuket and Samui and Krabi. I didn't realise there was anything in Hat Yai. But I don't know how official this is, but number 1, Dai Rap Vaccine Crop Song Kem, Vaccine Nung Kem. So 1 or 2 shots of the vaccine. Number 2, Mi Pon Truat COVID Pan RT-PCR ATK Pen Lop. So you can have an ATK or a PCR test. Or number 3, Garani Kei Tit Chur Lao La Hai Lao. So if you've had COVID and it's gone, Mai Gung Galsep 1 in the last 90 days, then that also makes you eligible. So I don't know what this is about or how official it is, and this is the first time I've seen this sign, but it's quite interesting. Here are some more offerings for Chinese New Year. This is very typical, a table laid out with various offerings for the spirits, the jiao tea, and at Chinese New Year you see this kind of thing everywhere. In the last video I asked you to be more specific if you wanted more updates, and someone left me a comment asking me to do a video around the Sakura Hotel. And this is what used to be the Sakura Grand View Hotel. Very big, very popular with Malaysian and Singaporean tourists. But I noticed a year or two ago that it had been renamed, so it's now the Yannaty Hotel. But I expect that a lot of people will still refer to it as the Sakura. It looks to be open. I might take a look inside in a minute just to see how busy it is and what the room rates are. I just had a quick chat with the reception staff, and time goes so quickly. I only thought it was a year or two ago that there was a change of ownership and it became the Yannaty. They've just told me it's 3 years. The hotel is big. It's got 230 rooms, and there are customers at the moment, but they're Thais. A lot of the hotels, because of the absence of tourists from Malaysia, they're sort of they're encouraging people to come for conferences and meetings. So there's Thais here doing a conference, and there's a big massage place upstairs on the first floor, but that's closed at the moment. And the room rate at the moment is 1,250 baht, so not particularly cheap. I think that's about the same as it was prior to COVID. Anyway, that's a quick update on what is now the Yannaty Hotel. The Sakura Grand View, or the Yannaty Hotel as it's known now, does have very good conference facilities, and they also hold weddings. And one of you out there, you'll know who you are, was married here some years ago to a girl who was part of a very large group of girls I used to know quite well, but sadly I've lost touch with in recent years. A few years ago, the local municipality put up these intersection signs so you know which part of town you're in, and because the Sakura Grand View Hotel was here, this intersection is known as Sakura, even though, as I just said, the name of the hotel has changed. But just to make it a bit more complicated, there's a hotel just opposite, which is the Sakura, and there's another hotel called the Sakura Budget Hotel in Rat Yindi Road. There's a restaurant just across the road called Pilec 59, which is quite popular with the tourists when they're here. It's got quite a big outdoor seating area and looks fairly pleasant. I think I've only eaten there about once. And for Chinese New Year, the streets are still definitely quiet. You know, at this time of year, usually it will be absolutely packed with in case you didn't realise, that's what Chinese firecrackers sound like. And in many other countries they're banned, they're illegal, but they're not in Thailand, and you hear that sound a lot over Chinese New Year. These little places are very useful. This one is just a few yards away from the Sakura around the corner, and in better times, when the massage shop is open in the Sakura, if you just walk in, they will charge you, I think it's 300 baht now. But if you come here before, you can buy a voucher, and that will save you some money. Back in the days when I used to get massages regularly, it cost 240 baht, and you come here and you can buy a voucher for 200. And they also offer other services. They'll change money for you, and I think they'll arrange transport if you want to go on somewhere. This is Tanon Niom Rat, just a little distance from the Sakura, and it's a sort of little Muslim enclave, and there used to be a number of Muslim restaurants all along here. You know, if you are Muslim Malay coming to Hat Yai, it's a useful place to get halal food, and they're all closed. And looking at the state of the interior, it looks as if some might be closed for good, which is really sad. And just across the street, everywhere is shuttered up. There's a place over there for rent. Hai Chow. It's still very, very quiet. And I just had a quick chat to the guy at that little travel agent, and I've heard things about the border reopening in February, and he's still not sure. So the Thais are still playing it very cautiously as to when things will reopen again. British people love Indian food. Wherever you go in the UK, you know, the smallest town possible, there will be a pub and an Indian restaurant. And the primary reason for me going to Patani yesterday was to go to an Indian restaurant that had been recommended. And this is, I think, the only Indian restaurant in Hat Yai. And it's good that, you know, at least somewhere does offer Indian food. But I've been here a few times, and to be quite honest, it's just a little disappointing. There's a Thai woman doing the cooking who doesn't really understand what Indian food should be like. So if it was better, I'd come here a lot more often, but I don't tend to come here very often. This is the Lee Gardens Hotel, not to be confused with Lee Gardens Plaza Hotel. And once again, this is another hotel that is closed at the moment. I'm not sure when it's going to reopen. If you do come to Hat Yai, you might have a little bit of a struggle finding a hotel, but there are hotels open, and some are offering some very good room rates. With a lot of Farangs, it seems that their ultimate ambition in life is to own a bar in Thailand, and some realise that ambition. And this is one of the places in Hat Yai that was owned by a foreigner. This is it was the Irish pub. And I've never been a big drinker, so I didn't come here to drink, but occasionally I will come here to eat because they had a very good Western menu. And it closed. It's quite a long time ago, actually, maybe two or 3 years ago. And in addition to the bar restaurant business on the ground floor, there are also rooms above that you rented out. And now it's completely closed, so another sad story. This is all that's left now of Hat Yai's Irish pub. When I first got to Hat Yai, a lot of the hotels were there already. This is one of the hotels that was built since I've been living here. It's called the Colour Hotel, and once again it was very popular with the Malaysian and Singaporean tourists. Got two types of room. In one room the bathrooms have got bathtubs, and the other side the bathrooms have got showers. It's quite a nice location. It's just in front of a canal, and in terms of aesthetics, Hat Yai isn't Venice, but it's a quiet area, yet it's still very close to the town centre, so it's quite a nice location. And when I first turned up, I thought it was closed, just a complete lack of people, but the door's open, and it is actually open. And the room rate now is 590, and pre-COVID it was 900. So once again, it's a hotel that's offering very good room deals if you can get to Hat Yai. I'll just turn the camera around so we can have a look at the view of the canal. There we go. As I said, it's not Venice, but it's quite a nice quiet location, and you've got easy access to the centre of town. Hat Yai used to have major flooding problems, and this canal is an important part of the town's flood defences. So all of the storm drains empty into this canal. This canal snakes all through town and ends up at a very big canal called Utapao. And then that one, there's quite a few big canals actually, go out into Songkhla Lake. So this canal is a big part of Hat Yai. And I mentioned earlier that I used to be quite friendly with a group of girls in town. And one of them happened to be the niece of the mayor. And she was telling me that at some stage there was a plan to develop the canal, like for tourism. So, you know, you might have maybe gondola rides and shops by the canal. It sounded really good. You know, hopefully that would have attracted a lot more tourists into town. But it would have been massively expensive, and obviously when COVID hit, then every big infrastructure project had to be cancelled. But there's probably quite a lot of potential to do it. But as I say, it would just be vastly expensive to do. I'm now heading towards the Newmarket area, where I sort of just about got to on my last tour of Hat Yai. have a look around this area. Little massage shop. Looks to be open. Sorry, crab.
Hello.
Run, Bert, my crab.
ไม่ได้เปิดค่ะ
My Bert, okay.
ค่ะ
Samurai crab. Pak pon.
มันไม่มีลูกค้าค่ะ ก็เลยไม่ได้เปิด
So my me prior Bert ใช่ไหม
ค่ะ เปิด ถ้ามีลูกค้าก็เปิด แต่นี่ไม่มี
Okay.
เออ
ขอบคุณครับ
ไว้วันหลังนะ
สวัสดีตรุษจีนครับ Yeah, usual story. There's no customers, so there's no point in opening. She told me, you know, if she gets customers, she will open, but she's not opening unless there are any customers, which makes perfect sense. More evidence of Chinese firecrackers. Not only are they very noisy, they also make a hell of a mess. In a normal year, which this isn't, there are certain places to go in Hat Yai for Chinese New Year. One place is the Siangtung organisation in Supersam Road. It's like a Chinese charitable organisation where people go there to make merit and donate money. And some of that money is used to buy coffins for very poor people who die. And they also organise one of these emergency rescue services for accidents. There's a lot of stuff going on around there. And at this place, which is Si Nakhon School, there are some more cultural events. But because this year is far from normal, there's not much going on. You only need to walk around Hat Yai for a little while to realise how much Chinese influence there is. In town there are lots of Chinese temples. There are a couple of huge ones. There are quite a few tiny ones. Some are just sort of holes in the wall. This is a medium-sized temple. And a big part of the Chinese belief system is ancestor worship. And what you can also find in town are these places that sell things made of paper. You can buy a paper house, paper car, paper clothes, and you can also buy money, not real money obviously, from the Bank of Hell. And the idea is you buy these things for your ancestors, put them in here, set lights to them, and that process sends those possessions to your ancestors to help them in the afterlife. Here's another small Chinese temple, and this isn't the smallest. I know others that are quite a lot smaller. And I've never counted them, but there are a lot. Many of the massage shops are closed today, but this one is open. This is Bangkok Massage. Can you hear the girls? Just asked me if I want a massage, and I'm not sure whether I have time. If I have time, I'll go back. They're eating their Chinese New Year lunch, so I might see you later. Now, jaga makeup. In addition to all the Chinese temples in Hat Yai, you'll also find buildings for all the different clan associations. I don't know much about China or Chinese culture. I think these clans are based on dialect groups. So this one here is for the Hakka clan, Hat Yai Hakka Association. Regarding Thai massage, it's a real science and it requires a lot of training. And with most of the massage shops in Hat Yai and the other tourist resorts, the girls don't go through that training. You know, they come from poor areas of the country. They need to earn money to support their family, and they turn up and one of the other girls will show them basically what to do. They might have 3 or 4 days training, and the experience is pleasant, but it's not really a genuine Thai massage. For that, you need to go to places like Wat Chongchang in Bangkok. That's the home of Thai massage, and they go through all the correct training. But there are also a few places in Hat Yai where they give a more authentic Thai massage, and this is one of them, called The Only One. That way back to Lee Gardens, where we've been a number of times before in the videos, so I won't go back, and I'll have to try to think of somewhere else to go. Here's another Chinese temple. You can tell from the colours and the architectural style and all the Chinese writing. It's Chinese. And here's another celestial mailbox and a little shrine with some Chinese gods. And I can hear a lot of birds twittering over there, so let's go and see what's happening. The Asians are very much into merit making, and one way of making merit is to release caged birds, and that's what the noise is here. So first of all, the lady catches the bird, and then you pay money to have the bird released. There's loads in this cage. Poor little things. This is the entrance to the Aladdin massage shop underneath the Coset Hotel. And it looks quite small from the outside, but when you go down the stairs, it's quite large. There's lots of individual rooms, and there used to be a lot of Burmese girls working there, and they offer some interesting services. And the sign outside says Pit Praprong Chua Krao, and what that means is it's closed for reservations, and the Chua Krao bit is temporarily. But what I've noticed in a lot of businesses is that they will put up a sign like this, but it's really closed permanently. And I'm not sure if this has got something to do with face saving. You know, they don't say, oh, the business is closed. They just say, oh, it is closed temporarily, but it never actually reopens again. So I'm not sure whether this place will ever reopen again. Just walking around, it's been difficult finding anything interesting to take videos of because everywhere is closed. And the same with finding somewhere to eat. It's gone 1 now, and I was getting a bit hungry, and so many restaurants are closed. This place is open, it's Muslim, and they've got quite an interesting menu. And to be honest, I'm getting really tired of Thai food. You know, if you live abroad and you only eat Thai food now and again, it's okay. When you eat it every day, there's such a limited menu, it starts to get really boring. So I'm quite looking forward to eating here. This place is called Alina, and the Western menu is actually really good. They've got pizzas, pastas, sandwiches, burgers, steaks. Yeah, it looks excellent. And I think this place has also got rooms for rent if you're looking for somewhere to stay. And of the language skills, writing is my weakest. Reading's okay, and I can sort of get by with speaking and listening. But in some places, you don't give your orders to a waitress, you have to write it on a piece of paper. So when I have to write, that's when it exposes my weakness with writing. The food looks really good. And normally in Thailand, when you order Western food and it comes with French fries, they only give you about 5 or 6 French fries. It's never enough. So I ordered a separate plate of French fries, and my club sandwich actually comes with quite a lot of French fries, so it wasn't necessary. And this is quite unusual for Thailand. So I'm just about to get stuck into my lunch. That was an excellent meal, not too expensive, and I'll definitely be going back there again. Regarding the accommodation, I spoke to the waitress and she gave me a bit of a cryptic answer. She said they used to rent rooms out, but now they don't because they're all full. But at the moment there are no tourists, so why are all the rooms full? I don't know. Anyway, it seems that at the moment renting a room here isn't an option, but it's certainly a very good place to eat. I'm back where I was earlier in the video, and with everywhere so quiet and deserted, it's a bit of a struggle with knowing where to go next. So I think I'll wrap up today's video and then go to somewhere else for the next video. And I've also got to pick up my son from school fairly soon, so that's a good excuse for stopping now. So thank you again for watching. If you have any comments, questions or other feedback, please leave them below, and hopefully there'll be more videos soon.